Hello, welcome to my newest DesDevDiary. I've got an update today on the project browser. I've been working on that throughout the week, and some mostly styling updates. But let's have a look. Okay, so this is the old project browser. So I kind of just everything's kind of built off this card shape, and folders up here quite big. Everything's reasonably big. There's not a lot of delineation between the categories. So this is the drafting category, this is the ideas category, and it's hard to kind of see where they start and end, even though there is that line there. I wanted to make it all a little bit more subtle, but also bring out those categories as well. So if we jump over to the new one, you can see there's some styling refinement here. So the main thing is the folders up the top are much smaller and spread out to the right. If I go back, you can see they were bigger and chunkier before. Hadn't really put much effort in, but now they're much smaller. This won't be the final position for them. They'll actually come down here in a little menu so that the first thing you see are your files. But this is a temporary solution for now. So that looks a bit nicer. And then you can see these categories are a little bit clearer. So you got slightly larger headings and a subtle background here, so that you can kind of scroll down and go, okay, that's the focus, the things that I'm focusing on. That's one state. The things that I'm drafting, that's another state. And then I've got a state here, idea. And then everything that isn't in a state is just sitting down the bottom, not in an overall section. I might style that a little bit differently in the future as well. But there'll be different types of views that you can select for each of these as well. But at the moment, it's basically this. Okay. Next is, if you go into, let's say I go into my files folder, which has more folders, but it's mainly where all the attachments sit. So I can go into drawings or other or canvases. If I go into other, you'll see these are PNG files, I think. You'll notice it takes a little while to grab the excerpt from these. It's trying to grab the excerpt, or maybe it won't do it for these. But oh, sorry, that's the new one. Let me go back to the old one. So if I go into files, go into other, you'll see it's trying to grab the excerpt, but they're binary files. They're not text files. So it can't really show an excerpt for these. If I click on it, you can see it's an image. And it slows down the program because it's trying to pass that into an excerpt. So now in the new one, it doesn't show excerpts for anything other than markdown files. So I can go into any of these. I think the Excalibur files are actually markdown files. I think they've got .md on the end outside of Obsidian. That's why they're showing. But other ones like the canvases and other things, they don't get an excerpt. So that should help. What's next? So then a big one is you don't have to have it open on the new tab. So at the moment, if I close this, it goes to a new tab. It opens by default. This is the new one as well. But I can go into the settings and go down to project browser. And now we have 3 settings here. Might make that a little bit bigger. Replace empty tab is on, but also is enable ribbon icon, and also is enable command. So I can turn off replace empty tab. Some of these you might have to restart if you change it. I'm not 100% sure actually. But I'm going to turn off replace empty tab. And now if I close this, yeah, see that looks like it's a restart one. Let me restart that. So now if I close this, I've got home installed. So it goes to my home file. But if I didn't have that, it would just be the new tab screen, I think. So let's turn off home page. community plugins. Home page, turn that off. Oh, I'm in the old one. Whoops. Let's try this. Close that. Yeah, so now let me chuck that back here. So now it's just that. If I create a new tab, it doesn't replace it with the project browser. But I have this ribbon command here now. So open project browser. So if I click on that, it then opens in a new tab. Because the tab was empty, it's done it over this tab. But if I click it now, or if I click on this and then I click it now, it goes to a new tab. You can also go to Command P and just type in project browser, and you can see there's an open command there. So you can do that as well. So you can make that a keyboard shortcut if you want. Okay, what else? So I think that is it. But just to reiterate, the project browser also has the states customizable now. So you can turn off show state menu in notes. So if I turn that off and I go to a note, let's open the ribbon, open the project browser. If I go to this one, you'll see there's no menu at the top for changing my states. But if I go back and turn that on, and then I open that, now there's a menu at the top for changing my state. So I can go through those and change the state. I can also customize the states. We've seen that in a previous video, but now it's in the normal stream, so not the beta stream. So you just have to update in community plugins, just go check for update and you'll get all these updates. And that's it. So some stylistic changes, some functional changes in terms of states, and some improvements in terms of how non-markdown files grab their excerpt. Slowly progressing. I think the next one's gonna be a good little chunk of functionality as well, so that should happen next week. And that's it. Thanks for chiming in. See you later.